Hello class, I'm Mark Western, physical education major at the University of Kansas. I did my observation and interview with Kelly Dennis out of Shawnee Mission North High School. Kelly is the girls' head basketball coach, along with being a PE and health teacher there at Shawnee Mission North. She began her education at Barton County Community College, followed that up with Friends University, where she received her bachelor's degree, and then finished her master's work at Mid-American Nazarene University. The first time I observed her teaching her class was in the middle of the volleyball unit that they were doing. Kelly's patience was probably the thing that stood out the most to me. She had a class of 42 students that day, and it seemed like every one of them was involved. She did a good job of keeping her kids active, and I thought she did a real good job of working the room, walking around, making sure she was talking to each kid, and keeping kids really, really involved and focused. Her energy level was high, and the kids really seemed to enjoy that. The second observation I did with her was actually a little more fun for me. The kids were playing one of my favorite games, a game that the PE majors are familiar with, speedball. This class was slightly smaller, but had a few more athletes and was noticeably more competitive. About 10 minutes into the class, there was a conflict between two of the boys. One of the boys appeared to be an athlete, a little bit bigger, definitely more aggressive, and he went into the wall pretty hard and took a kid with him, and it could have been an ugly situation that I thought Kelly handled real well. She pulled the kids aside, didn't stop the game, told both of them, hey, this is not going to be tolerated today, and the boys both apologized and told her it wouldn't happen again. She was quick with her action and firm, and the students seemed to respect that. When I asked Kelly her techniques in terms of handling students with special needs, she responded with this answer. I have a few students that are at risk, or several that have been identified as, with a learning disability. Does the planning change at all? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where, you have to be able to, some people would say you take some of your most immature kids and you keep them away from those at-risk kids, but I kind of believe differently. Sometimes I'll pull some of my biggest pains away and say, listen, you're strong at this, and I'll maybe say things that aren't true, and that's why I'll say, I need you to take this kid under your wing, and I need you to protect him. I need you to make him feel comfortable, and so on. And it's amazing how those kids their chests will blow up and be like, oh my gosh, you're believing in me in this way. And so then they kind of shelter that at-risk kid, and you don't really tell them what the at-risk kid's issues are, but you just tell them, they're not the most confident person in the world, help them out, kind of be their buddy, and kind of watch out for them. And those kids will do that. And I think that's part of planning, and I think that's part of just understanding the makeup of your class. And I think you have to have an idea of how you want your class to run. Not that it's always going to run the way you want it to, but it should 90% of the time.
Okay. If there was one thing I learned from my observations and interview with Coach Dennis, it was that regardless of the paperwork, procedures, and red tape that teachers have to deal with, P comes down to one thing. Keep the kids engaged and active if you want to have a successful classroom. Thank you.